Hi, this is Don McAllister, and welcome to another edition of Screencasts Online for iOS. Following on from my first look at the Apple Watch last week, in this episode I'm going to dig in a bit further on some of the standard features. So here we are again with an iPhone 5S and the Apple Watch. A slight change from last week in that I've rejigged things around slightly so that they're not on stands anymore. They're actually secured to a bench here, which hopefully will keep them fairly straight and fairly stable, but we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, what I want to do this week is to take you through in a little bit more depth some of the things we covered last week and introduce you to some new concepts as well. Now, one thing I can't show you the way it's configured is the wrist activation. When it is actually on your wrist, when the watch is on your wrist, when you raise your wrist, it will actually come on. And you can configure it to either come on to the watch face or to the previously loaded application. So to configure that, what you need to do is go into the Apple Watch app on the iPhone. And then if we go into General, and then down at the bottom of General, here we go, Activate on Wrist Raise. Tap in there. So show watch face is the default. That's the one I tend to keep it on. And in addition, resume previous activity. But I'm going to leave mine as show watch face. So let's come back out and go back to the main menu for my watch. Now, because I can't raise the watch, I have to activate the screen either by tapping on the screen or tapping on the digital crown, and that brings up the watch face. Just to remind you from last week, to get to your applications when you're at the watch face, if we just tap the digital crown once, that gives us this this icon view of all the various applications installed on this particular watch. Now we can actually go into an application just by lining up the application and then just tapping the application. I actually went through and loaded this earlier on. This is the activity application. What I need to do is put in my sex, age, weight and height, etc. So I'll do that off screen to save you going through the taking you through that particular process. But to come out, if we just tap the digital crown once again to take us to the watch face icon, and then once again takes us to the watch face. To get back to my application, to get back to the activity application, I just double tap the crown and that will take me straight back there. Now there is one other feature I never mentioned last week about the digital crown, and that's using it to enable Siri. There are two different ways to enable Siri, and Siri is really well done. Let me just come back out of here. It's really well done on the watch in that it's very accurate. And there are two different ways of invoking it. One is to use the digital crown, and the other is just to use the Hey Siri command. But let's start with the digital crown first. One thing, you can press it and hold and then release and speak, but I found the more reliable way to do it is to press and hold and keep it held down. So you can do sorts of things like, if I just bring the watch face back up, press and hold. What's the weather like in London? And then release, and that will actually trigger off the command. It'll go away and find the information for you. If I just go back out to the timepiece again, you can do such things as send messages. So if I wanted to send a message to someone, you can actually say who you want to send the message to and also the content of the message. So for instance, I have an SEO test user, which I can send a message to. So press and hold. Send a message to SEO test user and wish him a happy birthday. Okay, so perhaps I could have phrased that a bit better, but you can see the option. We'll hit send, and that goes off. You can use Hey Siri as well, so let me give that a go. Hey Siri, what's the weather like in London tomorrow? And again, that seems to work. But I have found Hey Siri to be a bit hit and miss. I must say, I've had the watch for 2 weeks now, and during that time, I have had to reset it a couple of times when Siri became unresponsive. And the way to do that is just to hold the digital crown and the power button together. Just press them in like you would on an iPhone, and it will reset the watch, and then it seems to work fine. Probably just a little bug in the watch with it being the first release. To get the full version of this tutorial completely for free, as well as immediate access to over 500 other Apple-related tutorials, all you need to do is visit scofree.com to register for your 14-day no-obligation free trial Screencasts Online membership. So that's scofree.com to register for your 14-day free trial membership.